Hello, friends. If you're curious about the movie Dune, Part 2, releasing in 2024, you're in the perfect place. Don't forget to give this video a quick like, it really helps us out. And if you're new here, hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest movie deep dives. Let's jump right in. In the vast expanse of cinematic universes, few stories manage to weave as intricate a tapestry as this saga. It continues the epic journey begun in its predecessor, plunging us once again into the unforgiving deserts of a world that is as mesmerizing as it is merciless. Here, destiny is not a passive force but an active, often brutal player, shaping the fates of kingdoms and individuals alike. The film invites us to witness a world where political intrigue, mysticism, and raw survival instincts collide, producing a narrative both grand in scope and intimate in its emotional reach. The story picks up at a pivotal moment, a crossroads where alliances are tested, old wounds resurface, and new powers emerge from the shifting sands. At its heart lies the protagonist's quest to embrace a destiny that extends far beyond personal ambition, entwining his fate with the fragile future of a planet and its people. The narrative is a thrilling dance of strategy and passion, where every choice ripples outward, threatening both salvation and destruction. We find ourselves drawn deeper into the complex web of characters, each carrying their own burdens and desires. The enigmatic factions vying for control, the fierce warriors whose loyalty is as sharp as their blades, and the mystics whose visions blur the line between prophecy and madness, all converge in a story that is as much about the power of belief as it is about tangible force. The tension between tradition and change pulses through the film, challenging characters to navigate treacherous terrain both literal and metaphorical. Key elements that define this installment include breathtaking world-building that expands the mythology of the desert planet, introducing new cultures, creatures, and landscapes that dazzle and unsettle. The film's visual language is a symphony of sweeping vistas and intricate details, each frame a painting that captures the harsh beauty and hidden dangers of this alien realm. Sound design and score entwine with these images, enveloping the audience in an immersive sensory experience that elevates every moment. Major twists and revelations punctuate the narrative, turning expectations on their head and forcing characters to confront truths that challenge their deepest beliefs. The protagonist's journey is fraught with peril, not just from external enemies but from inner doubts and emerging powers that test the limits of loyalty and identity. These twists ripple through the story, accelerating toward a climax that promises both resolution and new beginnings. The film's exploration of themes such as destiny, sacrifice, and the interconnectedness of life resonates with timeless relevance. It invites viewers to contemplate the consequences of power and the cost of change, all set against the backdrop of a world where every grain of sand holds history and prophecy. This emotional and philosophical depth transforms the narrative from a mere spectacle into a profound meditation on the human condition. So prepare to be swept away once again into a realm where the sands shift with secrets and legends come alive. Together, we will unravel the layers of this story, its characters, its mysteries, and its unforgettable moments. Whether you're here for the epic battles, the political intrigue, or the rich tapestry of myth and culture, there is a wealth of discovery awaiting beneath the surface. Let's dive in. The story begins where the previous chapter left us, on the shifting sands of a desert world both ancient and volatile, where survival is not guaranteed, and every grain of sand seems charged with history and fate. The protagonist, newly thrust into a role heavier than any he could have imagined, finds himself navigating not only the physical dangers of this harsh landscape but the labyrinthine politics and spiritual forces that govern it. From the outset, the narrative embraces a tone of urgency and transformation, setting the stage for a journey that is as much inward as it is outward. Early scenes plunge us into the aftermath of upheaval. The young leader, now bearing the mantle of his forebears, grapples with the immediate task of uniting fractured factions and consolidating power. His path is riddled with challenges, external threats from rival houses and empires eager to exploit chaos, and internal tensions among his new allies who question his legitimacy and vision. These dynamics are rendered with a keen eye for the subtle interplay of ambition, loyalty, and survival instinct. The film deftly balances moments of grand spectacle with intimate character study. We witness a series of council meetings, strategic debates, and ritual gatherings that illustrate the complexity of governance in this world. Here, alliances are forged and broken with equal speed, and words carry the weight of both diplomacy and deception. The protagonist's ability to navigate these treacherous waters is tested repeatedly, revealing both his strengths and vulnerabilities. His interactions with key advisors and leaders provide insight into his evolving leadership style, one that blends inherited tradition with a growing sense of personal conviction and innovation. A defining event in this early phase is a daring mission into the desert, where the protagonist and a trusted cadre venture to seek out an ancient and elusive tribe known for their deep connection to the land and its secrets. This journey serves as both a literal and symbolic crossing, a passage into the unknown that challenges their preconceptions and forces confrontation with fears and doubts. The tribe's enigmatic rituals and philosophies offer new perspectives on power and destiny, enriching the protagonist's understanding of his role and the broader forces at play. Tensions escalate as rival factions plot to destabilize the fragile unity. A covert assassination attempt underscores the perils lurking beneath the surface, propelling a suspenseful investigation that reveals layers of conspiracy and betrayal. This subplot intertwines with the main narrative, heightening stakes and complicating alliances. The film uses these developments to explore themes of trust, vigilance, and the costs of leadership in a volatile environment. Amidst political intrigue, the personal dimension of the protagonist's journey unfolds with poignant depth. Scenes of solitude and reflection reveal his inner turmoil, the weight of expectation, the burden of loss, and the flickers of hope that sustain him. Relationships with close confidants and family members provide emotional anchors, illuminating the sacrifices demanded by his path and the human costs often overshadowed by grand narratives. The film's pacing in these sequences is deliberate, allowing tension to build gradually while giving space for character development. Moments of quiet dialogue and shared vulnerability punctuate the action, offering respite and complexity. The interplay of sound and visual motifs, whispered prayers, shifting shadows, and the ever-present desert wind, creates an immersive atmosphere that evokes both awe and unease. A pivotal turning point arises when the protagonist receives a prophetic vision, delivered through a mystical ceremony that blurs the lines between reality and the metaphysical. This experience deepens the narrative's exploration of destiny and free will. The film's pacing in these sequences is deliberate, allowing tension to build gradually while giving space for character development. Moments of quiet dialogue and shared vulnerability punctuate the action, offering respite and complexity. The interplay of sound and visual motifs, whispered prayers, shifting shadows, and the ever-present desert wind, creates an immersive atmosphere that evokes both awe and unease. A pivotal turning point arises when the protagonist receives a prophetic vision, delivered through a mystical ceremony that blurs the lines between reality and the metaphysical. This experience deepens the narrative's exploration of destiny and free will, challenging him to reconcile his personal desires with the weight of cosmic expectation. The vision's symbolic imagery, of shifting sands, intertwined paths, and looming storms, foreshadows coming trials and transformations. The introduction of new characters adds further texture. Among them are fierce warriors whose loyalties are tested, enigmatic seers whose counsel is both sought and feared, and emissaries from distant realms bearing offers and threats. Their presence expands the story's scope, illustrating the interconnectedness of the desert world with the wider universe and the multiplicity of interests converging upon it. As the first act progresses, the film skillfully weaves threads of action, politics, spirituality, and personal growth. A series of escalating conflicts, ranging from skirmishes on open dunes to tense negotiations in candlelit chambers, demonstrate the protagonist's evolving command and the precariousness of his position. Each event is layered with meaning, reflecting the complexities of power, the fragility of alliances, and the unpredictability of fate. Visually, these sequences are breathtaking. Cinematography captures the stark beauty and lethal vastness of the desert, contrasting sun-scorched dunes with star-studded nights. The environment itself becomes a character, both adversary and guide, shaping the narrative's tone and reflecting internal states. The choreography of movement through this landscape, from silent footfalls on sand to the thunderous passage of great beasts, immerses viewers in a world that is alien yet profoundly elemental. In sum, the film's opening unfolds as a richly layered journey, blending thrilling plot developments with contemplative moments. It invites audiences to traverse a world where every decision reverberates beyond immediate consequences, where the past and future entwine, and where a young leader must forge a new destiny amid ancient sands and ever-shifting loyalties. This detailed tapestry of events and developments sets the stage for an epic continuation that promises to deepen the saga's mysteries and challenges. The tension that had been simmering since the journey's beginning now rises with relentless force, sweeping the characters and their world into a maelstrom of conflict, revelation, and transformation. What started as a quest for understanding and consolidation blossoms into an all-consuming battle, not just for survival but for the very soul of the desert planet and the intertwined destinies of its people. As the narrative pushes forward, the young leader's resolve is tested against ever-mounting odds. His once uncertain grasp on power now confronts the full fury of external enemies and internal dissension. Rival houses, emboldened by fractures within his coalition, launch coordinated offensives aiming to dismantle his fledgling rule. These confrontations are brutal and breathtaking, epic clashes across sweeping dunes, punctuated by tactical ingenuity and fierce valor. The film's choreography here is meticulous, conveying not just physical struggle but the high stakes and razor-edge calculations that define warfare in this unforgiving landscape. Amid the chaos, alliances forged in the first half are strained and, in some cases, shattered. Trust becomes a precious commodity, eroded by betrayal and competing ambitions. The narrative introduces a compelling twist. A trusted confidant reveals a hidden agenda, appending strategies and forcing the protagonist to re-evaluate loyalties. This betrayal adds layers of emotional complexity, as characters grapple with disappointment, rage, and the painful necessity of sacrifice. The film does not shy away from depicting the moral ambiguity inherent in such decisions, inviting viewers to ponder the costs of leadership in a fractured world. Parallel to the external conflict is a profound spiritual and psychological journey. The protagonist's earlier vision and mystical experiences gain clarity as he confronts the symbolic and literal storms ahead. These sequences blend stunning visual effects with intimate performance, illustrating the convergence of prophecy and personal agency. The narrative explores the tension between destiny and free will, depicting moments where the protagonist must choose between paths that promise either salvation or ruin. This thematic depth elevates the story beyond a conventional epic, rendering it a meditation on choice, faith, and transformation. The film's pacing accelerates as it approaches the climax, interweaving escalating battles, political maneuvering, and moments of quiet reckoning. A pivotal event unfolds when the protagonist leads a decisive campaign to unite disparate factions in a last stand against the encroaching forces of domination. This campaign is portrayed with sweeping cinematography and intimate character focus, capturing the exhilaration and dread of moments where history hangs in the balance. The stakes are personal as well as political, as characters confront fears, forge bonds, and lay bare their convictions. In a dramatic twist, an unexpected ally emerges from the shadows, bringing with them knowledge and power that shift the tide of conflict. Their arrival redefines relationships and strategies, underscoring the film's themes of unpredictability and the power of unity amid diversity. The protagonist's acceptance of this alliance signals growth, a recognition that leadership requires humility, trust, and openness to change. The climactic battle sequences blend spectacle with emotional gravitas. The choreography balances large-scale conflict with close-quarter moments that highlight individual courage and sacrifice. Sound design and score swell in tandem, enveloping the viewer in an immersive crescendo that is both thrilling and poignant. The film's visual effects depict the harsh beauty and deadly power of the desert, from swirling sandstorms to monumental natural phenomena that echo the narrative's epic scope. In the aftermath, the story turns inward, exploring the consequences of victory and loss. The protagonist reflects on the cost of his journey, the lives changed, the dreams deferred, and the fragile hope kindled amid ruin. The resolution is nuanced, avoiding simplistic closure in favor of a meditation on continuity and renewal. Characters embrace new roles and understandings, signaling that while one chapter closes, the saga's heartbeat endures. The film's final moments resonate with symbolic imagery: the desert's endless horizon, the interplay of light and shadow, and the enduring presence of ancient forces. These visuals reinforce the story's themes of cyclical time, the interdependence of past and future, and the enduring spirit of a people bound to their land. The protagonist's gaze toward the distant dunes suggests both promise and uncertainty, a fitting end to a tale defined by complexity and transformation. In these concluding acts, the film cements its place as a monumental continuation of an epic saga. Its masterful weaving of action, intrigue, spirituality, and character drama delivers a cinematic experience that is both exhilarating and deeply moving. The story challenges viewers to consider the costs and possibilities of leadership, the power of belief, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. Through this rich tapestry of events and revelations, the narrative offers a profound exploration of destiny and choice, unity and division, tradition and change. It leaves audiences with lingering questions and awe, inviting them to carry the saga's echoes long after the screen fades to black. At the heart of this sprawling epic lies a constellation of characters whose complexities and contradictions infuse the narrative with its emotional power and thematic richness. These are not mere archetypes in a grand political drama, but deeply human figures whose journeys of growth, struggle, and transformation invite viewers into the intimate spaces where destiny and desire collide. Exploring their motivations, relationships, and evolutions reveals how the film's true strength rests not only in its breathtaking visuals or intricate plot but in its profound portraiture of character. The central figure, the young heir of a desert kingdom, is a study in contrasts, at once burdened by expectation and driven by a fierce desire to carve his own path. His transformation from a reluctant noble to a visionary leader forms the backbone of the story, embodying themes of destiny, sacrifice, and self-discovery. Initially marked by uncertainty and a cautious approach to power, he gradually embraces the mantle thrust upon him, learning to harness both the external forces of politics and the internal currents of belief. This character's psychological depth is rendered with nuance. Moments of doubt and vulnerability punctuate his otherwise determined facade, humanizing a figure often portrayed as mythic. The film's intimate scenes, whether in quiet conversation or solitary reflection, reveal his inner conflicts: the fear of failure, the weight of legacy, and the yearning for connection. His relationships, especially with mentors and family, provide emotional anchors that illuminate his evolving sense of self. The protagonist's physicality also evolves alongside his inner journey. Early scenes capture a youth still finding his footing, hesitant but keenly observant. As the narrative progresses, his posture, gaze, and movements reflect growing confidence and command, even as moments of fatigue and pain remind viewers of the costs of leadership. This interplay between strength and vulnerability deepens audience empathy and engagement. Opposite him stands a figure embodying a different model of power, one forged in resilience, pragmatism, and a profound connection to the land and its people. This character's arc challenges and complements the protagonist's, offering a vision of leadership grounded not in heritage but in lived experience and adaptability. Their interactions are charged with tension and mutual respect, evolving from suspicion to alliance and, ultimately, a nuanced understanding of shared purpose. This secondary lead is portrayed with a blend of fierce determination and nuanced warmth. Their relationship to tradition is complex, simultaneously reverent and critical, highlighting the film's thematic interrogation of change versus continuity. Moments of quiet wisdom and fiery resolve illustrate a character shaped by hardship yet unbowed, whose personal journey intertwines with the broader destiny of the desert world. Supporting characters enrich the narrative landscape with varied perspectives and emotional textures. Trusted advisors, fierce warriors, mystics, and rivals each bring their own histories, motivations, and conflicts. These figures are drawn with care, avoiding caricature to present fully realized individuals whose choices ripple through the story's fabric. Their loyalties are tested, and their transformations often mirror or contrast with the leads, offering multiple angles on themes of trust, power, and identity. Among these, a mentor figure emerges as a guiding presence, a keeper of ancient wisdom and spiritual insight whose role is both to counsel and to challenge the protagonist. This character embodies tradition and continuity but is portrayed with depth that reveals their own struggles and doubts. Their interactions underscore the tension between fate and free will, reinforcing the narrative's philosophical undercurrents. The film also foregrounds female characters whose strength, intelligence, and agency defy reductive stereotypes. They navigate political and personal terrains with nuance, influencing events and shaping outcomes in ways both overt and subtle. Their relationships with the leads add layers of complexity and emotional resonance, highlighting themes of partnership, sacrifice, and resilience. Antagonists in the story are crafted with a similar commitment to complexity. Rather than mere villains, they represent competing visions and the darker facets of ambition and power. Their motivations are explored through backstory and interaction, painting them as formidable yet understandable figures. This moral ambiguity enriches the narrative tension, inviting viewers to grapple with questions of ethics, loyalty, and consequence. Visual and performative elements further deepen character portrayals. Costume design, makeup, and physicality communicate personality and evolution. Ornate robes symbolize authority and tradition, while practical attire reflects adaptation and readiness. Subtle gestures, facial expressions, and vocal inflections convey unspoken emotions and shifting dynamics, drawing viewers into the characters' inner worlds. The film's direction and cinematography support this depth, employing close-ups and intimate framing to capture moments of revelation and conflict. Lighting and color choices reflect emotional states, with warm tones enveloping scenes of connection and cooler palettes underscoring isolation or tension. These visual choices create an immersive experience that aligns audience perception with character psychology. In essence, the film's characters serve as living conduits for its thematic explorations. Their journeys embody the tensions between past and future, tradition and innovation, vulnerability and strength. Through their struggles and triumphs, the narrative interrogates the nature of leadership, identity, and the human capacity for change. This nuanced character work elevates the film from a sweeping epic to a deeply personal saga. It invites viewers not only to witness a grand story but to engage with the intimate realities of its players, their fears, hopes, flaws, and growth. In doing so, it offers a cinematic experience that is as emotionally resonant as it is visually stunning, reminding us that at the core of every great story are characters whose humanity transcends the boundaries of fiction. The making of this monumental cinematic journey was itself a saga filled with twists, surprises, and moments that reveal the unpredictable alchemy behind transforming epic storytelling into vivid reality. Beyond the meticulously crafted sets and breathtaking visuals lies a treasure trove of fascinating, sometimes peculiar, stories, little-known anecdotes and production quirks that offer a glimpse into the creative spirit and human resilience fueling the project. These behind-the-scenes facts illuminate how art and circumstance intertwine to shape a film that feels both timeless and strikingly alive. One of the most remarkable aspects was the sheer scale and ambition of the film's desert environments. Rather than relying solely on CGI or soundstages, the production team sought authentic landscapes to capture the raw, unforgiving beauty essential to the story's atmosphere. This quest led them to remote deserts around the globe, including regions where filming conditions tested the limits of cast and crew endurance. There were days when temperatures soared above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and the relentless sandstorms forced delays and adaptations. These harsh realities, while challenging, infused the footage with an authenticity that no artificial effect could replicate. Anecdotes abound of the crew battling these elements with humor and tenacity. One particularly memorable instance involved a drone operator losing control of his equipment during a gust of wind, resulting in a comical but harmless crash into a sand dune. The logistics of shooting in such remote and environmentally sensitive locations necessitated innovative solutions. The production employed specially designed mobile water filtration and cooling systems to support the health and safety of the team. Generators and lighting rigs were custom-fitted to withstand sand intrusion, and wardrobe departments had to create costumes durable enough to endure relentless wear without sacrificing the intricate aesthetic vital to character and culture. The actors themselves adapted by undergoing physical training not only for combat choreography but to endure the taxing climate, a preparation that added a layer of realism to their performances. In terms of set design, one unusual fact stands out. A large portion of the interior scenes were constructed using recycled materials sourced from decommissioned aircraft and shipping containers. This sustainable approach not only reduced environmental impact but added unexpected texture and history to the sets. The art department recounted moments when elements of these materials, worn metal, faded paint, sparked creative ideas that shaped the visual language of political chambers and secretive enclaves, lending an industrial yet otherworldly feel that enhanced the narrative's tone. Costume design carried its own share of fascinating stories. The film's wardrobe master collaborated with textile artisans from various cultures to create fabrics that echoed the story's themes of tradition and adaptation. In one instance, a particular type of hand-dyed silk used for a key character's cloak required months of painstaking preparation, involving natural dyes derived from desert plants. This dedication to authenticity extended to practical challenges. The elaborate costumes had to allow freedom of movement for intense action sequences, leading to creative innovations such as hidden stretch panels and modular layering that maintained aesthetic fidelity while supporting stunt work. A particularly unusual occurrence during filming involved one of the creatures, designed to be a towering and enigmatic force of nature, whose animatronics repeatedly malfunctioned during a critical scene. The team humorously nicknamed it the stubborn sandworm, as its unpredictable behavior led to multiple takes and improvisations. Behind the camera, this mechanical temperamentalness sparked a camaraderie among puppeteers and technicians, who bonded over late-night troubleshooting and shared jokes. These moments of human connection amidst technical frustration exemplify the collaborative spirit that sustained the production through inevitable setbacks. Sound design offered its own trove of curiosities. The film's soundscape features an intricate blend of natural desert sounds, synthesized effects, and musical motifs. To capture authentic environmental audio, the sound team made field recordings in some of the most remote locations used for filming. In one story, a sudden sandstorm was recorded live, its raw intensity preserved and woven into the final mix to heighten scenes of tension and isolation. The composer incorporated unusual instruments, including custom-made wind instruments inspired by desert cultures, adding layers of auditory symbolism that deepen the immersive experience. Visual effects sequences combine state-of-the-art CGI with practical effects, resulting in scenes that blend digital marvels with tangible realism. One notable fact is that the digital artists collaborated closely with the costume and set designers to ensure seamless integration. Textures and colors from physical sets were scanned and enhanced digitally to maintain continuity. This interdisciplinary approach fostered a dynamic workflow where technological innovation and traditional craftsmanship enriched each other. Casting choices also brought surprises. Some actors were cast not only for their dramatic skills but for unique talents that enhanced authenticity, such as fluency in dialects, martial arts expertise, or cultural knowledge. One actor, for example, trained extensively in a traditional dance form to bring nuance to ritualistic scenes, a dedication that impressed both the director and fellow cast members. These layers of preparation and personal investment contributed to performances that feel lived in and deeply rooted. The production also faced unexpected challenges from political and logistical realities. Filming permits in certain regions were delayed due to diplomatic sensitivities, prompting the team to adapt shooting schedules and seek alternative locations that offered similar visual impact. Navigating these obstacles required not only flexibility but diplomacy, mirroring the story's themes of negotiation and power. These behind-the-scenes maneuvers added a layer of complexity and unpredictability to the process, demanding creative problem-solving. One of the lighter anecdotes from the set involves a recurring playful rivalry between two lead actors during breaks. Known for their friendly competitiveness, they engaged in improvised contests ranging from physical challenges to impromptu poetry battles inspired by the film's rich linguistic world-building. These moments, captured on candid footage, became cherished memories and revealed a warm human dimension beneath the intense focus demanded by the production. Marketing efforts embraced innovative approaches to mirror the film's immersive world. Interactive online experiences allowed fans to explore the desert planet's geography, culture, and history, deepening engagement and anticipation. Augmented reality apps featured hidden symbols and clues, connecting narrative elements across media platforms and fostering a vibrant fan community eager to decode the story's mysteries. In sum, the strangest and most fascinating facts about this film's making reveal a production alive with creativity, challenge, and camaraderie. From battling the desert's fury to inventing new artistic techniques, from technical hiccups turned humorous bonding moments to deeply immersive world-building, the journey behind the scenes is a story of passion and perseverance. These insights not only enrich our appreciation of the film itself but remind us that cinema is a living, breathing art form, a collaboration of countless minds and hearts working together to transform vision into unforgettable experience. The film's narrative unfolds through a sequence of significant events, each serving as a critical fulcrum that shifts the story's direction and deepens its thematic resonance. From a critical perspective, these moments not only propel the plot but also invite audiences to engage with broader questions about power, identity, and fate. Their careful construction and emotional weight amplify the film's impact, elevating it beyond spectacle to a meditation on the human condition amid upheaval. One of the earliest pivotal events is the protagonist's formal acceptance of his leadership role within the desert tribe, a ceremony rich with ritual and symbolism. This scene functions on multiple levels. Narratively, it marks the transition from reluctant heir to active leader. Thematically, it underscores the tension between tradition and innovation that permeates the story. Critics have highlighted how this moment encapsulates the protagonist's inner conflict between honoring inherited customs and forging a new path, which becomes a driving force throughout the film. The ceremony's visual and auditory design, choreographed movements, chanting voices, and evocative imagery immerses viewers in a world where spiritual and political authority intertwine, deepening emotional engagement. Another major event demanding critical attention is the series of desert battles, where raw physicality meets strategic cunning. These sequences are not mere action set pieces. They dramatize the fragile alliances and shifting power dynamics at the story's heart. Each skirmish reveals layers of loyalty, betrayal, and sacrifice, illustrating how warfare reshapes relationships and identities. Critics have noted the film's refusal to glamorize violence, instead presenting conflict as chaotic and costly. The visceral cinematography, close combat interspersed with sweeping shots of the vast desert, immerses audiences in both the immediacy and epic scale of these clashes, reinforcing themes of endurance and resilience. The narrative's turning point arrives with a shocking betrayal by a trusted confidant, an event that sends ripples through the protagonist's world. This twist serves as a profound commentary on trust's fragility and the perils of power. It forces both character and audience to confront uncomfortable truths about loyalty and deception. The film's treatment of this betrayal, eschewing melodrama in favor of nuanced emotional fallout, has garnered critical praise for its maturity and complexity. The aftermath explores themes of forgiveness, justice, and the personal toll of political intrigue, adding layers of moral ambiguity and human depth. Parallel to these external conflicts, the film weaves moments of spiritual and psychological revelation. The protagonist's visions and mystical encounters provide a contemplative counterpoint, exploring destiny, free will, and interconnectedness. These sequences employ innovative visual effects and sound design to evoke altered states of consciousness, inviting viewers into a liminal space where prophecy and personal choice intertwine. Critics have lauded these passages for their poetic ambiguity and thematic richness, which elevate the narrative from political drama to philosophical inquiry. The climax, an epic convergence of military strategy, political negotiation, and personal sacrifice, embodies the film's core tensions. Here, the protagonist must reconcile competing demands: the need for unity, the weight of prophecy, and the desire for personal freedom. The choreography of this sequence balances spectacle with intimacy, using cross-cutting and parallel narratives to heighten tension and emotional stakes. Critical analyses emphasize how the film avoids simplistic resolutions, instead embracing complexity and nuance, reflecting real-world ambiguities. The film's resolution offers a meditation on renewal and continuity rather than closure. It acknowledges the costs of transformation, the lives altered, the ideals tested, while gesturing toward a hopeful future shaped by lessons learned. Critics have interpreted this ending as a deliberate choice to emphasize cyclical time and the enduring struggle for balance between tradition and change. The final imagery, rich with symbolism, desert horizons, rising suns, resonates emotionally, leaving audiences with a sense of awe and contemplation. The thematic threads woven through these key events contribute substantially to the film's emotional and intellectual impact. Themes of power and its burdens, identity formation, trust and betrayal, and the interplay of destiny and agency are embodied in narrative moments that resonate universally. The film's nuanced portrayal of leadership challenges archetypal heroism, presenting a protagonist whose strength is inseparable from vulnerability and moral complexity. This approach has sparked rich discourse among critics and audiences alike, who appreciate the film's depth and willingness to confront ambiguity. Audience reception reflects this complexity. Viewers have responded not only to the film's visual grandeur and thrilling sequences but to its emotional honesty and thematic depth. Discussions in forums and social media reveal engagement with character motivations, ethical dilemmas, and symbolic meanings, indicating a layered viewing experience that rewards attention and reflection. The film has inspired a diverse range of interpretations, from political allegory to spiritual parable, underscoring its multifaceted nature. In scholarly circles, the film has been situated within discourses on myth-making, post-colonial narratives, and environmental storytelling. Its depiction of a desert world grappling with exploitation and survival echoes contemporary concerns, adding relevance and urgency. Critical essays explore how the film challenges traditional genre boundaries, blending science fiction with epic and philosophical cinema, creating a hybrid form that invites interdisciplinary analysis. In sum, the significant events of the film function as narrative and thematic anchors, shaping its structure and meaning. Their careful crafting and emotional authenticity engage viewers on multiple levels, contributing to a cinematic experience that is both exhilarating and thought-provoking. Through these moments, the film invites us to reflect on the complexities of power, the fragility of trust, and the enduring human quest for purpose amid uncertainty, resonances that linger long after the final frame. The making of this cinematic epic was an extraordinary endeavor, a fusion of vision, craftsmanship, and sheer determination that transformed an ambitious narrative into a living, breathing world on screen. The filmmaking process itself became a story of perseverance and creativity, filled with moments that reveal the artistry and human spirit behind the spectacle. Exploring these production insights and fun facts unravels a rich tapestry of experiences, illuminating how passion and innovation converged to bring this tale to life. From the earliest conception, the filmmakers faced the challenge of adapting a complex and sprawling source material into a cohesive cinematic experience. The screenplay underwent numerous iterations, balancing fidelity to the original story with the demands of pacing, character focus, and visual storytelling. Writers and directors worked closely, engaging in extensive research and creative brainstorming sessions. One notable anecdote recalls a late-night writing marathon during which a key subplot was reimagined, adding emotional depth and thematic coherence that elevated the entire narrative. Casting was a pivotal and carefully considered process. The team sought actors who could embody the intricate characters' emotional and cultural nuances while bringing fresh interpretations. Auditions included not only traditional readings but also immersive workshops where performers explored dialects, physicality, and cultural context. This collaborative environment fostered a sense of shared purpose and allowed actors to contribute meaningfully to character development. Several cast members have spoken fondly of these sessions, highlighting how they deepened their connection to the story and each other. Set design and location scouting were monumental tasks. The production team scoured deserts and arid regions worldwide to find landscapes that embodied the alien world's harsh beauty and mystery. Filming in remote areas posed logistical challenges, from transporting equipment and crew to securing sustainable resources. The art department complemented these natural settings with expansive sets built to meticulous detail, recreating palatial interiors and tribal enclaves that reflected the story's cultural diversity. One behind-the-scenes story recounts how a set piece initially planned as a simple backdrop evolved into a focal point after actors improvised a scene there, inspiring set designers to enhance its features and symbolism. Costume design merged traditional craftsmanship with futuristic vision. Designers collaborated with artisans across continents to source materials and techniques that honored the story's cultural inspirations. Creating garments that were both visually stunning and functional for the intense physical demands of filming required innovation. The wardrobe team developed modular designs allowing actors to move freely while maintaining the intricate aesthetics. An amusing anecdote involves an actor who accidentally tore a hand-woven cloak during a fight scene. The costume department turned this mishap into a narrative detail, adding authenticity to the character's hardship. Cinematography embraced both cutting-edge technology and classic techniques. The director of photography employed custom lenses and innovative camera rigs to capture sweeping vistas and intimate character moments. Drone footage provided dynamic aerial perspectives, while stabilized handheld cameras brought immediacy to battle scenes. One technical challenge involved filming in extreme heat, which caused camera equipment to overheat and malfunction. The crew devised cooling systems and protective housings, showcasing their resourcefulness and commitment to quality. Visual effects artists collaborated closely with the production team to blend practical effects with digital artistry seamlessly. Early in pre-production, detailed concept art guided the creation of otherworldly creatures and environments. Motion capture technology captured nuanced performances that informed digital models, resulting in lifelike animations. The VFX team recounted late-night sessions refining sandstorm simulations to achieve a balance between realism and cinematic drama, a process that involved both scientific precision and artistic intuition. Sound design and music composition were integral to building the film's immersive atmosphere. Sound engineers recorded environmental sounds from deserts worldwide, layering them with synthetic textures to evoke the alien planet's unique soundscape. The composer incorporated traditional instruments and innovative electronic elements, creating a score that resonates emotionally while enhancing narrative tension. During recording sessions, the orchestra experimented with unconventional techniques, such as bowing beneath the bridge of string instruments, producing haunting timbres that became signature motifs. The cast and crew's interpersonal dynamics played a vital role in sustaining morale and fostering creativity. Despite the demanding schedule and harsh conditions, a spirit of camaraderie permeated the set. Crew members organized informal gatherings, sharing meals and stories that bridged cultural divides and strengthened bonds. One memorable story involves a surprise birthday celebration for a lead actor, which included desert-themed decorations and music, lifting spirits and creating lasting memories. The production faced several unforeseen obstacles, including sudden weather shifts, equipment failures, and scheduling conflicts. Each challenge was met with adaptability and teamwork. For instance, a planned outdoor scene was nearly canceled due to an unexpected sandstorm, but the director and cinematographer improvised lighting and camera angles to turn the storm into a dramatic narrative element. Such moments exemplify the fluid interplay between preparation and spontaneity that defines the filmmaking process. Marketing the film embraced innovative strategies to reflect its immersive world building. Interactive digital campaigns allowed fans to explore detailed maps, cultural lore, and character backgrounds, deepening engagement. Behind-the-scenes featurettes and cast interviews were released strategically, offering insights and building anticipation. The marketing team collaborated with artists and designers to create limited-edition merchandise inspired by the film's iconography, further connecting audiences with its universe. In summary, the production insights and fun facts reveal a journey marked by artistic vision, technical innovation, and human connection. From meticulous planning to joyful improvisation, from grueling environmental challenges to moments of creative breakthrough, the making of this film exemplifies the collaborative spirit at the heart of cinema. These stories enrich our appreciation, reminding us that behind every frame lies a vibrant community of creators whose passion and perseverance bring stories to life. The story breathes and unfolds within a landscape as vast and layered as the narrative itself, a setting that transcends mere backdrop to become an active participant in the drama, shaping tone, character, and theme in equal measure. The film's environments, both natural and constructed, immerse viewers in a world at once alien and deeply resonant, where every dune, shadow, and architectural detail contributes to the emotional and symbolic fabric of the story. At the core lies the desert itself, a character of elemental power and mystery. The filmmakers sought out real desert landscapes that could convey the planet's harsh beauty and relentless challenge. The vast, sun-bleached sands stretch endlessly, their shifting patterns and stark horizons evoking both isolation and boundless possibility. These natural settings are captured with breathtaking cinematography, sweeping aerial shots that reveal the scale and solitude of the environment, juxtaposed with intimate close-ups where the granular texture of sand becomes almost tactile. The desert's dual nature, as both sanctuary and threat, permeates the film's atmosphere, underscoring themes of survival, transformation, and the cyclical rhythms of nature. Interwoven with these natural vistas are the carefully designed interior spaces, palaces, council chambers, and hidden sanctuaries that reflect the complex social and political structures inhabiting this world. The art direction pays meticulous attention to cultural detail, blending influences from ancient civilizations with futuristic imagination. Ornate carvings, textiles dyed with desert pigments, and symbolic motifs adorn these spaces, creating environments that feel both timeless and distinctly tied to the story's unique mythology. Lighting within these interiors is used to sculpt mood. Warm, diffused glows foster intimacy and reflection, while sharp contrasts and shadows convey tension and uncertainty. The contrast between the expansive outdoors and enclosed interiors mirrors the narrative's thematic tensions between freedom and constraint, chaos and order. Characters move between these spaces in ways that reflect their internal journeys. Moments of solitude and contemplation often unfold within the protective confines of shadowed rooms, while scenes of confrontation and revelation erupt under the unyielding desert sun. This spatial choreography deepens the story's emotional resonance, anchoring character development in physical experience. The film's use of color and texture further enriches the setting's narrative function. A warm, earthy palette dominates. The ochres, siennas, and burnt umbers of sand and stone provide a naturalistic base, punctuated by vivid splashes of color in costumes and ceremonial objects that signal cultural significance and emotional intensity. These chromatic choices evolve with the story's mood. Early sequences glow with sun-drenched optimism, while later scenes adopt cooler, muted tones that evoke uncertainty and introspection. This visual rhythm guides the audience's emotional engagement, subtly reinforcing narrative shifts. Cinematography plays a central role in translating setting into mood. The director of photography employs a dynamic range of techniques, from sweeping crane shots that emphasize scale and grandeur to handheld, intimate frames that capture raw emotion and tension. Light and shadow are manipulated masterfully to echo the story's undercurrents, with chiaroscuro effects highlighting moments of moral ambiguity and personal conflict. The play of natural light, sunsets casting golden hues, moonlight shimmering on sand, creates a poetic visual language that elevates the film's aesthetic and thematic depth. Visual effects blend seamlessly with practical locations to expand the world's scope without sacrificing authenticity. Digital augmentation enhances landscapes and architecture, adding elements that evoke otherworldliness. Glowing energy sources, shifting sand formations, and distant, mysterious structures, while preserving the tactile quality of real environments. This fusion of real and virtual crafts an immersive space that feels tangible yet fantastical. Sound design complements visual elements, anchoring settings in sensory reality. The whisper of wind across dunes, the distant call of desert creatures, and the echoing footsteps within cavernous halls create layers of auditory texture. These sounds evoke the planet's rhythms and moods, enhancing immersion and emotional tone. The score weaves through this soundscape, using instrumentation and motifs that reflect cultural diversity and spiritual themes, underscoring key narrative moments. The film also uses setting as a narrative device. Geographic features, mountain passes, oasis springs, hidden valleys, serve as symbolic thresholds and crucibles for character transformation. Journeys across these varied terrains mark shifts in plot and psyche, their physical challenges paralleling internal struggles. The desert's unpredictability, sandstorms, shifting terrain, becomes metaphor for fate's mercurial nature, influencing action and atmosphere alike. Set pieces like ceremonial gatherings and political councils unfold within architecturally striking spaces that amplify the stakes and solemnity of decision-making. These scenes are framed to convey power dynamics, positioning characters in relation to light, space, and each other, to visually communicate dominance, submission, alliance, or discord. The choreography of movement within these rooms, combined with camera angles and editing rhythm, intensifies narrative tension. In action sequences, the setting is not merely a stage but an active force shaping combat and strategy. The vast openness challenges fighters with exposure and unpredictability, while narrow canyon passages create claustrophobic tension. The interplay of terrain and movement enhances the physicality and drama of these moments, grounding spectacle in believable geography. Ultimately, the film's settings and cinematic elements coalesce into a living, breathing world that is integral to the storytelling. They provide more than context. They shape experience, emotion, and meaning. Through masterful design, cinematography, sound, and visual effects, the film invites audiences to inhabit a realm where every shadow, grain of sand, and architectural detail resonates with story and spirit. This intricate fusion of place and narrative deepens immersion and invites reflection, making the journey not just seen but profoundly felt. The making of this cinematic journey was itself an epic in its own right, a vibrant tapestry woven from moments of laughter, perseverance, unexpected twists, and the forging of lasting bonds among the cast and crew. Beneath the surface of the polished spectacle lies a world alive with human stories, a creative adventure that was as challenging as it was rewarding. Exploring these behind-the-scenes insights invites us into the heart of the filmmaking process, revealing how a shared vision transformed obstacles into triumphs and how camaraderie blossomed amid the rigors of production. From the very first day on set, the atmosphere was charged with a blend of excitement and gravity. The remote desert locations demanded early mornings and long days under an unforgiving sun, yet the spirit among the team remained remarkably buoyant. One of the crew's cherished memories is of a spontaneous celebration marking the completion of the grueling first week of shooting. A small gathering around a campfire, with music and storytelling, brought everyone together, forging a sense of community that would sustain them through months of demanding work. The cast quickly formed close relationships, their chemistry extending beyond the screen. Rehearsal periods were peppered with moments of improvisation and playful competition, which helped break the intensity and deepen character dynamics. A well-known anecdote involves two lead actors engaging in an impromptu sword-fighting duel during a break, their friendly rivalry culminating in laughter and mutual respect. These moments of levity balanced the weight of their roles and created an environment conducive to creative risk-taking. One of the more surprising stories from the set involves a scene requiring a delicate balance of choreography and emotional subtlety. The director, known for his collaborative style, encouraged the actors to experiment with different rhythms and interactions. During a pivotal moment, an unplanned gesture, a subtle touch, a whispered line, was captured by a roaming camera operator. This unscripted intimacy became a defining beat of the scene, illustrating how openness and trust among the team sparked cinematic magic. The production crew faced numerous challenges, particularly related to the demanding natural environments. Filming in extreme heat and shifting weather conditions tested both human endurance and equipment reliability. On one occasion, a sudden sandstorm forced the evacuation of a remote set, but the crew used the unexpected pause to conduct maintenance and share meals, turning adversity into a moment of rest and connection. These experiences fostered resilience and adaptability, qualities that became hallmarks of the production ethos. Technological hurdles also shaped the journey. Complex camera rigs designed to capture sweeping desert vistas occasionally malfunctioned, leading to creative problem-solving and inventive workarounds. The drone team recalls a humorous incident where a drone's flight path was unexpectedly altered by a gust, resulting in a near miss with a towering set piece. Thankfully, no one was harmed, and the footage was salvaged and even incorporated into the final cut, showcasing the team's ability to turn challenges into assets. Costume and makeup departments contributed their own stories of dedication and ingenuity, creating garments that reflected the story's rich cultural tapestry while allowing freedom of movement for intense action sequences required innovative materials and designs. One notable moment involved a late-night fabric dyeing session to perfect the hues of a key character's cloak, with the team experimenting with natural dyes inspired by desert plants. Such attention to detail not only enhanced visual authenticity but deepened the emotional resonance of the characters' journeys. The culinary offerings on set, often overlooked in filmmaking narratives, became a source of morale and cultural exchange. Meals were tailored to accommodate the local environment and diverse dietary needs, with communal dining fostering conversation and friendship. Several cast and crew members shared stories of learning new recipes and sharing traditional dishes from their home countries, enriching the production's social fabric. Director and cinematographer worked closely to capture the film's unique visual language, often conducting impromptu walkthroughs of the desert terrain to scout new angles and lighting conditions. These sessions were collaborative adventures, with team members offering insights that influenced shot composition and atmosphere. Such openness to input reinforced a sense of shared authorship, empowering all contributors to shape the film's aesthetic. The music department's collaboration with sound engineers was another behind-the-scenes highlight. Recording sessions featured experiments with unconventional instruments and techniques, including capturing ambient desert sounds and integrating them into the score. The composer and sound team recount lively sessions filled with improvisation and discovery, reflecting the film's blending of tradition and innovation. Promotional activities extended the spirit of community, with cast and crew engaging in candid interviews and fan events. These occasions often featured humorous anecdotes and reflections on the challenges and joys of production, strengthening the bond between the filmmakers and their audience. Social media platforms buzzed with behind-the-scenes glimpses that deepened fan appreciation and anticipation. In sum, the behind-the-scenes narrative of this film is a testament to the power of collaboration, resilience, and joy in creativity. From grueling physical conditions to moments of artistic inspiration and heartfelt connection, the production journey was rich with stories that illuminate the human heart beating beneath the cinematic grandeur. These insights remind us that filmmaking is not only an act of storytelling but a shared voyage, a mosaic of experiences that, together, bring worlds to life on screen. The film unfolds as a vast and intricate meditation on themes that reach far beyond the immediate narrative, weaving a tapestry of meaning that invites reflection long after the screen goes dark. At its heart, it is a story about power, its allure, its burdens, and its transformations. But this power is never portrayed in simplistic terms. Instead, it is examined through the multifaceted lenses of identity, destiny, ecology, and the human spirit, each theme layering complexity and resonance into the unfolding saga. One of the most prominent themes is the tension between tradition and change. The narrative is set against the backdrop of ancient customs, ritualistic ceremonies, and deeply rooted cultural identities that have governed a people for generations. These traditions provide stability and meaning but also risk rigidity and resistance to necessary evolution. The protagonist embodies this tension, caught between honoring the legacies inherited and the imperative to adapt and forge a new path. This struggle reflects a universal human experience, the challenge of balancing reverence for the past with the demands of the present and future. The film does not resolve this tension neatly, but presents it as an ongoing dialectic that defines leadership and survival. Closely linked is the exploration of destiny and free will. The story navigates the complex interplay between prophecy and choice, fate and agency. Characters grapple with visions and foretold paths that seem inescapable, yet their decisions reveal the power and peril of exercising autonomy within those constraints. This theme resonates particularly through the protagonist's journey, as he confronts the expectations imposed by mysticism and legacy while asserting his own will. The film's nuanced portrayal acknowledges the limits of control while affirming the transformative potential of conscious action. Ecology and the relationship between humans and their environment emerge as another vital thematic strand. The desert setting is more than a backdrop. It is a living force shaping culture, survival, and worldview. The narrative foregrounds the delicate balance between exploitation and stewardship, illustrating how environmental conditions dictate social structures and spiritual beliefs. This theme gains urgency as characters face the consequences of disruption, both ecological and political. Symbolism tied to the desert, its sands, storms, and creatures, evoke cycles of destruction and renewal, underscoring the interconnectedness of life and the necessity of harmony with nature. Identity and transformation permeate the film's emotional core. Characters undergo profound evolutions, shaped by external events and internal reckonings. The motif of transformation extends beyond physical change to encompass psychological and spiritual rebirth. This theme is symbolized through recurring imagery, the shifting sands mirroring shifting selves, masks and ceremonial garb signifying roles assumed and shed, and the juxtaposition of light and shadow reflecting dualities within. These symbols enrich character arcs, emphasizing that identity is fluid, contested, and intertwined with community and environment. The film also probes the nature of leadership, what it demands and what it costs. Leadership here is not idealized heroism but a complex negotiation of power, sacrifice, and ethical ambiguity. The protagonist's path illustrates that leadership requires vulnerability, vision, and resilience, as well as the capacity to inspire and bear profound loneliness. This theme is dramatized through political intrigue, personal relationships, and moments of solitude, painting a multifaceted portrait that challenges simplistic notions of authority. Symbolism plays a pivotal role in articulating these themes. The desert itself is a rich symbol, vast, unforgiving, and mysterious, representing both the external challenges faced and the internal deserts characters must cross. Its shifting dunes suggest impermanence and the constant flux of life and power. The recurring presence of water, scarce and precious, symbolizes life, purity, and renewal, its scarcity underscoring fragility and hope. Architectural elements serve as symbolic markers of culture and power. Ornate palaces and austere chambers convey histories and hierarchies, their designs embedding motifs that reference ancestry, spirituality, and political order. These spaces become arenas where symbolic and actual battles for control unfold, reinforcing the thematic interplay between place and identity. Colors and light function as potent symbols throughout. Warm, golden hues evoke connection, vitality, and sacredness, while cool, muted tones signal doubt, danger, or introspection. The interplay of shadow and illumination not only shapes mood but signifies moral and existential ambivalence, reflecting characters' struggles with truth and deception, hope and despair. Ritual and ceremony permeate the film, serving both narrative and symbolic functions. They are moments where the community's values and beliefs are enacted and contested, where characters confront their roles and destinies. These scenes resonate with layered meanings, symbols of continuity, transformation, and the tension between individual will and collective fate. The film's creatures and fauna carry symbolic weight as well, embodying themes of power, mystery, and connection to the natural world. Their depiction blends mythic grandeur with ecological realism, reinforcing the narrative's fusion of fantasy and grounded human experience. Through this rich symbolism, the film invites viewers to engage in a dialogue between the literal and the metaphorical, encouraging interpretations that deepen with reflection and rewatching. Themes interlock and echo, creating a resonant whole that transcends the boundaries of genre to speak to universal human concerns. In essence, the film is a meditation on the complexities of existence, how individuals and societies navigate the forces of history, environment, belief, and desire. Its themes and symbols entwine to create a narrative that is both epic and intimate, challenging and inspiring. This layered storytelling not only captivates the imagination but invites ongoing contemplation, making the film a profound and enduring artistic achievement. The film stands as a towering achievement not only for its storytelling but for its masterful use of filmmaking techniques, which shape every frame into a sensory journey of epic scope and intimate detail. From the earliest stages of conception, the creative team recognized that to bring this sprawling narrative to life, a marriage of traditional craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology was essential. This fusion allowed them to sculpt an atmosphere rich with texture, depth, and emotional resonance, a world where every visual choice, sound design, and editorial decision works in concert to immerse the viewer fully. Cinematography is the film's beating heart, orchestrating a visual symphony that moves seamlessly between vast desert landscapes and intimate character moments. The director of photography employed an array of lenses and camera rigs to capture the terrain's grandeur and the subtlety of human expression. Sweeping crane shots and aerial drone footage reveal the desert's endless expanses, emphasizing the scale and isolation that define the world. These wide vistas are punctuated by close-ups that linger on faces, hands, and small details, drawing audiences into the emotional core of the narrative. One hallmark technique is the interplay between static and kinetic camera work. Moments of political deliberation and personal reflection often unfold within carefully composed, almost painterly frames, where the camera holds still or moves with deliberate slowness, inviting contemplation. In contrast, action sequences burst with handheld, rapid movement, immersing viewers in the chaos and urgency of battle or pursuit. This rhythmic oscillation guides emotional pacing, allowing tension to build and release organically. Lighting design plays a crucial role in establishing tone and mood. Natural light dominates many outdoor scenes, with golden hour hues bathing characters and landscapes in warm, evocative glow. The cinematography exploits the desert sun's harsh angles to create striking contrasts, casting long shadows that enhance the story's themes of duality and ambiguity. Interior scenes employ chiaroscuro techniques, with pools of light and deep shadows sculpting space and emphasizing the psychological complexity of interactions. This dynamic use of light and shadow weaves symbolism into the visual narrative, reinforcing character arcs and thematic currents. Color grading further refines the film's emotional palette. Early sequences are suffused with warm, saturated earth tones, ochres, siennas, and burnt oranges, that evoke vitality and connection. As the story darkens, cooler, desaturated hues dominate, reflecting uncertainty, conflict, and introspection. These subtle shifts operate beneath conscious awareness, guiding audience response and deepening immersion. Editing techniques underpin the film's storytelling rhythm, balancing clarity with complexity. The editors employ a fluid narrative structure that intercuts multiple storylines and perspectives, creating a tapestry of cause and effect that invites active engagement. Cross-cutting builds suspense and thematic resonance, while match cuts and visual motifs enhance coherence and symbolic meaning. Pacing varies to suit narrative demands, lingering on moments of intimacy, accelerating through sequences of action and intrigue. The seamless blending of temporal layers, including flashbacks and visions, is achieved with careful transitions that maintain narrative clarity while evoking mystery. Sound design envelopes the audience in a richly textured auditory landscape. Ambient sounds, from whispering winds and shifting sands to distant animal calls and murmured prayers, anchor scenes in a tangible reality. Layered effects subtly underscore emotional beats and narrative tension without overpowering dialogue or music. The film's soundscape is dynamic, evolving with the narrative and environment, enhancing immersion and mood. The musical score is a vital emotional undercurrent, blending orchestral grandeur with electronic textures and traditional instruments inspired by the story's cultural milieu. Leitmotifs associated with characters and ideas recur throughout, weaving a sonic thread that unites disparate narrative elements. The composer's inventive use of rhythm, melody, and instrumentation evokes both the alien and the familiar, grounding the epic story in universal human feeling. Music swells in moments of triumph and softens during reflection, guiding emotional flow and accentuating thematic depth. Special effects combine practical and digital artistry with remarkable subtlety and impact. Practical effects, miniatures, pyrotechnics, costume design, provide tactile authenticity, while CGI enhances scope and imagination. Digital artists worked closely with set designers and cinematographers to ensure visual consistency, integrating effects seamlessly into live-action footage. Notably, simulations of environmental phenomena such as sandstorms and shifting landscapes required extensive research and technological innovation to capture both realism and cinematic drama. Camera technology was pushed to new frontiers. Custom rigs enabled dynamic movement through challenging terrain, including stabilized mounts for high-speed desert chases and compact devices for confined interior spaces. Remote-controlled drones offered unprecedented aerial perspectives, capturing the vastness and isolation integral to the story's sense of place. Lens choices varied widely, from wide angle to telephoto, to shape perception of space and emotion, reflecting the narrative's shifting focus between external forces and internal states. The film's box office production was as strategic as its artistry, timing the release to capitalize on global market trends and leveraging a multifaceted marketing campaign. The producers ensured widespread visibility and anticipation. Interactive online platforms offered fans immersive experiences, exploring the story's world, characters, and themes, building engagement prior to release. Partnerships with international distributors and culturally tailored promotions expanded reach, positioning the film as a major event in the global cinematic landscape. Critical and audience responses highlight how the film's technical mastery enhanced its emotional and narrative impact. Reviewers frequently praise the cinematography and visual effects for creating a palpable sense of place and mood, while sound and music are noted for their evocative power. The film's editing is recognized for balancing complexity and accessibility, allowing intricate storytelling to unfold with clarity and grace. Audience feedback reflects appreciation for the immersive experience, noting how technical elements deepen connection to characters and themes. In essence, the film's filmmaking techniques are an intricate symphony of craft and innovation. Through deliberate and imaginative choices in camera work, lighting, editing, sound, and effects, the filmmakers have constructed a cinematic world that is both breathtaking and deeply human. These elements do more than dazzle. They shape the story's heartbeat, inviting viewers into an experience that is as emotionally rich as it is visually stunning. The seamless integration of artistry and technology elevates the film into a landmark of contemporary cinema, redefining the possibilities of epic storytelling. The pulse of this cinematic odyssey beats strongest through the performances of its cast, a remarkable ensemble whose dedication and craft breathe life into a world as vast and complex as the desert sands themselves. From the leads who carry the narrative's emotional and thematic weight, to the supporting players who enrich the story's texture, each actor inhabits their role with a rare blend of intensity, subtlety, and authenticity. Their journeys, both on-screen and off, reveal a tapestry of human connection and artistic collaboration that elevates the film from a grand spectacle to a profoundly moving experience. At the center stands the young heir to a fragile throne, whose portrayal captures the turbulent evolution from hesitant youth to resolute leader. The actor's preparation was immersive and multifaceted, involving extensive research into the story's cultural context, physical training to embody the demands of desert survival and combat, and deep psychological work to explore the character's internal conflicts. In interviews, he described a process of constant discovery, shaped by collaborative rehearsals and the director's encouragement to seek nuance over archetype. His commitment is evident in the subtle shifts of posture, gaze, and vocal cadence that trace the character's growth and fragility. This lead's relationship with his co-star, the enigmatic and formidable figure whose own vision challenges and complements his, is a cornerstone of the film's emotional power. The chemistry between these actors was honed through months of joint preparation, including workshops exploring character backstories, shared cultural research, and trust-building exercises. Their off-screen friendship brought a warmth and spontaneity to scenes of tension and alliance alike, enriching the portrayal with layers of complexity and empathy. In candid conversations, both actors reflect on the challenges and rewards of embodying characters who navigate loyalty, betrayal, and the burdens of destiny. Supporting actors bring additional dimensions that deepen the narrative fabric. A seasoned mentor, portrayed with gravitas and subtle vulnerability, anchors scenes of spiritual and political counsel. The actress who embodies the fierce and insightful female leader offers a performance that challenges traditional gender roles, blending strength with emotional depth. Their portrayals emerged from a collaborative process involving extensive dialogue with the director and writers, enabling them to shape characters that resonate with authenticity and resonance. Ensemble rehearsals fostered a dynamic interplay, with actors drawing inspiration from one another to create a cohesive and vibrant community on screen. Audience reception has been equally telling. Early screenings sparked enthusiastic discussions, with viewers captivated not only by the film's visual spectacle but by its emotional complexity and character-driven storytelling. Social media platforms buzzed with praise for the lead's performances, noting the vulnerability and strength conveyed with equal measure. Fan forums delved into character motivations and thematic questions, reflecting a deep engagement that transcended casual viewing. The cast's nuanced portrayals invited empathy and debate, fostering a rich community dialogue. Critics echoed this admiration, often singling out the lead actors for their ability to carry the film's weighty themes with grace and conviction. Reviews highlighted the supporting ensemble's contributions to creating a textured and believable world, emphasizing how strong performances underpin the film's narrative ambitions. Academic analyses have also emerged, exploring how the actors navigate the intersections of identity, power, and cultural representation, situating the film within broader cinematic and social contexts. Interviews and press tours provided further insights into the actors' experiences. They spoke candidly about the physical and emotional demands of the production, the grueling desert shoots, the intensive fight choreography, and the challenge of embodying characters steeped in myth and reality. These conversations revealed a shared passion for the material and a commitment to honoring its complexity. Anecdotes from the set, moments of humor, and reflections on personal growth enriched the public narrative, fostering a sense of connection between artists and audience. The cast's engagement extended into interactive fan events and panel discussions, where they answered questions, shared behind-the-scenes stories, and reflected on the film's impact. These forums became spaces for dialogue, allowing fans to explore the film's layers and for actors to articulate their interpretive choices and hopes for the story's legacy. The warmth and openness displayed in these settings strengthened the community around the film and deepened appreciation. In sum, the cast's artistry is a vital force animating the film's world. Their performances, born of rigorous preparation and heartfelt collaboration, transform complex characters into living, breathing individuals whose struggles and triumphs resonate across cultural and emotional boundaries. Through interviews and audience engagement, their work gains additional life and meaning, enriching the cinematic experience and fostering a vibrant dialogue that extends beyond the screen. This interplay of performance and reception underlines the film's power to move, challenge, and inspire, securing its place as a landmark in contemporary storytelling. The journey we've embarked on through this film has been as vast and layered as the world it brings to life, a journey that unfolded across sprawling deserts and intimate chambers, through moments of tension and quiet revelation. We've explored the rich tapestry of its narrative, where power, destiny, and identity intertwine, challenging not just its characters but us as viewers to reflect on the complexities of leadership, the weight of legacy, and the delicate balance between tradition and change. From the opening sequences that set the tone of a world on the brink, to the climactic moments where choices reverberate with profound consequence, the story has invited us to witness not just a battle for control but a deeply human quest for meaning and belonging. Our deep dive into the plot revealed how each event, be it a strategic alliance, a betrayal, or a spiritual vision, functions as a catalyst in a meticulously crafted mosaic. These moments, rich with tension and symbolism, illuminate the fragile interplay of trust and power, the challenges of uniting disparate peoples, and the personal sacrifices demanded by great responsibility. The narrative's pacing and structure, blending sweeping action with introspective pauses, create an emotional rhythm that draws us into the characters' struggles and triumphs. The characters themselves, brought to life by a remarkable ensemble cast, embody the film's thematic heart. Their journeys, fraught with doubt, courage, and transformation, remind us that beneath the grandeur of epic tales lie stories of vulnerability and resilience. The lead's nuanced performances, supported by a dynamic supporting cast, invite us into a world where identity is fluid, leadership is a burden and a gift, and every choice ripples across the fabric of community and destiny. Behind the scenes, we've glimpsed the immense artistry and dedication fueling this cinematic achievement. From the grueling desert shoots to the innovative blending of practical and digital effects, from the meticulous costume and set design to the evocative soundscape and score, the production is a testament to creative vision and collaborative spirit. These elements coalesce to create a sensory experience that is immersive and emotionally resonant, transporting audiences into a world both fantastical and deeply human. The film's themes and symbolism, rooted in the cycles of nature, the dance of light and shadow, and the sacred interplay of tradition and innovation, imbue the story with profound depth. These motifs not only enrich the narrative but invite ongoing reflection, making the film a living work that rewards repeated viewing and thoughtful discussion. Critical perspectives and audience responses affirm the film's impact, highlighting its success in blending spectacle with substance, entertainment with philosophical inquiry. The dialogues it has sparked, about power, identity, ecology, and destiny, extend its resonance beyond the screen, positioning it as a touchstone in contemporary cinematic storytelling. In reflecting on the filmmaking techniques, we see how masterful cinematography, dynamic editing, layered sound design, and a haunting score converge to shape an atmosphere that is both grand and intimate. This craftsmanship elevates the narrative, guiding us through vast landscapes and inner landscapes alike, and creating a cinematic experience that lingers in memory and emotion. The cast's dedication and artistry, their candid reflections and interactions with audiences, further enrich the film's legacy. Their performances are the emotional bridges connecting viewers to the story's world, and their engagement with fans continues the dialogue, building a community around shared exploration and appreciation. As we conclude this exploration, we recognize that this film is more than a story told. It is a world inhabited, a question posed, and an invitation extended. It challenges us to consider how we navigate our own deserts of uncertainty, how we reconcile the past with the future, and how we carry forward the fragile torch of hope amid change. If this deep dive has stirred your curiosity and enriched your appreciation, I warmly invite you to subscribe. By joining this community, you'll gain access to thoughtful analyses that unravel the layers of cinema's most compelling stories. Films that inspire, challenge, and connect us all. Your support fuels this journey of discovery, enabling us to continue peeling back the surfaces and illuminating the heartbeats beneath. Thank you for walking this path with me, for embracing the complexities and wonders of storytelling, and for bringing your own curiosity and care to this shared adventure. Until next time, keep watching with open eyes and an open heart. The film's creation is a masterclass in cinematic craft, a harmonious blend of technical innovation, artistic vision, and meticulous execution that elevates the story from mere narrative to a living, breathing world. Each element, from the first flicker of light through the lens to the final cut and soundtrack, was designed to immerse the viewer fully, to transport them not only to a distant desert planet but into the very soul of its story. Understanding the filmmaking techniques employed reveals how carefully calibrated choices shape atmosphere, emotion, and meaning, transforming each frame into a work of art. Central to this achievement is the film's cinematography, helmed by a visionary director of photography who approached the project with a keen sensitivity to light, space, and movement. The vastness of the desert, its stark beauty and merciless character, demanded a visual language that could capture both scale and intimacy. Expansive aerial shots reveal the seemingly infinite dunes and rocky plateaus, their shifting forms echoing the story's themes of impermanence and change. These sweeping vistas are juxtaposed with tightly framed close-ups, where the granular texture of sand and the subtle expressions of characters come into sharp relief, grounding the epic in deeply personal experience. A remarkable technique employed was the interplay between natural and artificial lighting. The filmmakers embraced the desert sun's harsh, directional light during day shoots, capturing the intensity and shadows that carve the landscape and faces. At dusk and dawn, the golden hour bathes scenes in a warm glow, adding a lyrical softness that contrasts with the harsher daylight. Interiors and night scenes use a carefully designed palette of low-key lighting, often employing candles, firelight, or muted lanterns to create pools of light within shadowed spaces. This chiaroscuro effect not only heightens mood but visually embodies the story's moral and emotional ambiguities. The choice of lenses and camera equipment was deliberate and experimental. Wide-angle lenses dominate exterior shots, accentuating the vastness of the environment and the vulnerability of the characters within it. For intimate moments, longer lenses compress space and isolate subjects, inviting viewers into the emotional nuances of the performances. The film also utilizes custom camera rigs for dynamic sequences, stabilized mounts for sweeping tracking shots across dunes, handheld cameras for visceral action scenes, and remote-controlled drones for aerial choreography that reveals patterns and movements impossible to capture otherwise. Movement within frames is carefully choreographed. Slow, deliberate pans and zooms create a meditative rhythm, allowing the audience to absorb the detail and symbolism embedded in the mise-en-scene. In contrast, rapid cuts and shaky camera work heighten tension and chaos during conflicts and pursuits, immersing viewers in the immediacy of danger. This dynamic range of motion governs the film's emotional cadence, balancing grandeur with intimacy. Editing plays a pivotal role in weaving the film's complex narrative tapestry. The editorial team embraces a non-linear structure at times, intercutting past and present, visions and reality, to build suspense and deepen thematic exploration. Cross-cutting between multiple storylines underscores the interconnectedness of characters and events, while match cuts and recurring visual motifs enhance coherence and symbolism. The editing rhythm varies thoughtfully, lingering on moments of contemplation to draw out emotional resonance, accelerating through action sequences to generate excitement and urgency. Sound design is a cornerstone of the immersive experience. Beyond dialogue and music, the film's soundscape incorporates layers of environmental and atmospheric effects that ground the story in its alien yet tangible world. The sound team recorded authentic desert ambiences, including wind gusts, shifting sand, distant animal calls, and the subtle creaking of structures, weaving these natural elements with carefully crafted synthetic textures. The result is a rich auditory tapestry that envelopes viewers, heightening realism and emotional impact. The musical score is a vital narrative voice in itself. The composer blends traditional orchestral arrangements with innovative electronic sounds and indigenous instruments inspired by the film's cultural inspirations. Leitmotifs assigned to key characters and themes recur and evolve, guiding emotional interpretation and reinforcing narrative threads. The music swells to convey triumph, softens to intimate vulnerability, and pulses with tension in moments of uncertainty, functioning as an emotional guide throughout the film. Visual effects integrate seamlessly with practical sets and performances, expanding the world scale without sacrificing authenticity. Digital artists worked in close collaboration with production designers and cinematographers to ensure consistent textures and lighting across physical and virtual elements. Noteworthy is the simulation of natural phenomena, sandstorms, shifting dunes, and weather patterns, which required sophisticated physics modeling to balance realism with cinematic drama. Creature design and animation also blended motion capture with artistic interpretation, producing beings that feel both organic and mythic. The film's box office production mirrored the artistry behind the camera. Release strategies were carefully planned to maximize audience reach, including timing that leveraged seasonal and global market trends. Marketing campaigns employed immersive digital experiences, interactive websites, augmented reality apps, and social media engagements that extended the film's world beyond theaters, building anticipation and community among fans. Promotional partnerships and culturally tailored content ensured resonance across diverse international markets, reflecting the film's global storytelling ambitions. Critical reception emphasized how the film's technical mastery enhanced its storytelling power. Reviewers highlighted cinematography's role in creating a palpable sense of place and mood, sound design's contribution to immersion, and editing's deft handling of narrative complexity. Audiences responded enthusiastically to the film's sensory richness and emotional depth, noting how visual and auditory elements deepened their connection to characters and themes. In sum, the film's filmmaking techniques constitute a symphonic interplay of innovation and craftsmanship. Each choice in camera work, lighting, editing, sound, and effects was made with intention, serving narrative and emotional purposes.